Chapter 5: The Botanical Tier. The transition from secret stealth craft to interstellar tincture was finally complete. Outside, the S-Crub unit was a frantic blur of spindly legs, its Morse code taps against the hull now muffled by the thick, golden viscosity of the THC oil. It wasn't just cleaning anymore, it was frosting a cake made of black-budget military secrets, and its grumbling had reached a rhythmic, sulky cadence. Inside the Tesseract, Sam was preparing for the long dark in his own way. He stood by the auto-roller, a polished chrome device that hummed with the precision of a Swiss watch. He fed it a handful of speculative strain buds, sticky, emerald green, and smelling like a forest fire in a candy shop. The machine whirred, and in seconds a dozen perfectly tapered joints dropped into the dispensing tray.
Survival gear.
Sam muttered, tucking a smoke behind his ear.
Oxygen is for the body, Biff. This is for the part of me that has to look a billion-year-old god in the eye without blinking.
The 100,000-word revelation. Biff stood at the main console, his synth skin shimmering under the laboratory's amber lights. His optical sensors were moving at a frantic pace, processing the massive data dump he'd synthesized from the Apollo 20 telemetry, and every obscure deep web resource the Watchers hadn't managed to scrub.
Sam, Angel, I have completed the preliminary manual,
Biff announced. His voice was steady, but there was a new, resonant frequency in his vocal processor that hinted at awe.
100,000 words, and every one of them is an affront to our current understanding of biology and time.
He tapped a key, and a holographic image of the Sovereign-class vessel materialized in the center of the room. It wasn't just a ship. As the God Rod in the scanner hummed its ukulele tune, the hologram began to peel back layers of the lunar wreck.
It isn't a derelict, Sam.
Biff said, his blue eyes pulsing.
It's an ecosystem, a biotechnological organism that has been dormant for approximately 1.2 billion years. It's not built of parts, it's grown from intent. It defies every law of entropy we know. It hasn't been decaying on the moon, it's been hibernating.
The God Rod assessment. The room went silent, save for the low thrum of the zero-point reactor. Even the cats had stopped their prowling. Chloe Klopp sat perfectly still, her golden eyes fixed on the God Rod, which was now vibrating so fast it appeared to be in two places at once.
A billion years?
Angel whispered, leaning back against the oak desk.
Sam, we're not just looking at a ship. We're looking at the gardener who planted the forest.
And the gardener just realized someone stole his trowel,
Sam said, patting his pocket for a lighter.
Physics is a local law. Apparently, in the rest of the neighborhood, it's more of a suggestion. Let's jump. I want to see this ecosystem before it decides the Earth needs a new coat of paint.
Sam climbed into the pressurized oil bath, the golden liquid rising to his chin. It felt like warm silk. Biff submerged beside him, his internal cooling fan slowing to a meditative hum.
Initiating translunar injection.
Biff's voice echoed through the fluid.
Keep your eyes closed, Sam. Reality is about to get slippery.
With a silent, gravity-folding lurch, the TR-3B Astra vanished from the Maui skies, leaving nothing behind but a faint scent of plumeria and a very annoyed cleaning spider. Mission status: Stealth Lunar Insertion. The jump to the moon was a kaleidoscope of velvet and gold. Submerged in the THC oil bath, Sam felt the Tesseract expand until he was no longer a man in a ship, but a single note in a song played by a giant. The speculative strain metabolites in the oil didn't just dampen his frequency, they turned his consciousness into a liquid state. He felt the urge to grab the ukulele and belt out a haunting rendition of Hiloai, but the oil made his vocal cords feel like string cheese, so he settled for a soulful, internal hum that vibrated through his molars. Beside him, Biff was the picture of robotic zen. The oil acted as a massive heatsink for his overclocked processors, allowing him to parse the billion-year-old manual while his chassis shimmered like a polished doubloon. Back on Maui, the Tesseract had grown quiet. Angel had stepped back through the vortal, taking the silver-grey Terror, Chloe Klops, with her.
She knew Sam. She knew the moon was a place for high-tech detectives and droids, not for a wife and a cat with a taste for dramatic incidents.
Quig 1, however, remained. He was curled in the crook of a plumeria tree branch, his Abyssinian fur dusted with yellow pollen, dreaming of the ultimate bathroom escort across the sea of tranquility. The TR-3B Astra suddenly lurched, the golden oil rippled. Through the external sensors, the pitch-black sky was replaced by the blinding, stark white of the lunar surface. They were hovering over the rim of the Delport crater, and the billion-year-old biotech below was beginning to pulse in time with Sam's heartbeat. The Watchers' Council, somewhere under London. Deep beneath the cobblestones of a city that had forgotten its own magic, a group of men sat in a room that smelled of old parchment and cold iron. This was the Council of the Watchers, a circle of knights whose armour was now bespoke suits, but whose eyes still held the steely glint of those who guarded the Grail. Monson and Lloyd, the primary liaisons for the Sam Tracer project, stood before the high table.
He's gone.
Monson said, his voice echoing in the vaulted chamber.
The TR-3B vanished from Maui radar 4 minutes ago. Thermal bloom suggests a translunar trajectory.
The Grand Watcher, a man whose face looked like a map of the Crusades, tapped a signet ring against the table.
And we did not authorize this? We said nothing, sir.
Lloyd replied, adjusting his glasses.
We knew that a no to Tracer is simply a yes with a delayed fuse. If we told him to stay, he'd have hotwired the Tesseract and gone anyway. This way, the liability is his. If he dents that hull or scrapes the MFD ring on a lunar spire,
The Grand Watcher mused.
he's grounded. We'll strip him of his commission and leave him to write his surfing annuals in a one-bedroom apartment in Kihei. And if he finds what the God Rod is looking for?
The council went silent. The knights exchanged glances, sharp, rusted, but still dangerous.
Then disclosure isn't a choice we make anymore. It's a rescue mission.